Welcome back to episode 316 of the Guy and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy, and Doug is not here yet. Something has happened to Doug. I'm sure he'll join us here in just a second. But we use this podcast to talk about God, guns, responsible Christian gun owners' interest. In this week's show, we'll be talking about John 3:16. I don't know. He told me he was going to be here, and he was getting on, so he'll join us here in a second. Well, thank our bandwidth sponsors, Firearms Radio Network. Thank them for putting on all of the shows for you guys to download at your convenience and hosting all that, and all the other great shows they have over there on the Firearms Radio Network. If you've not checked out other shows on the Firearms Radio Network, I've asked you to please check them out. Let them know that we sent you over there. Also, want to thank our bandwidth sponsor, Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms with over 13,000 products from over 400 top brands. Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service backed by fast shipping and expert support team serving freedom since 2008. Find out more about FRN more about Primary Arms at frn.deals/PA. Also want to thank Patriot Patch Company. Patriot Patch Company is a supporter of the show, and we appreciate Jake sponsoring our show and helping us out. And you guys check out all the patches and deals and the Patch of the Month Club and the shirts and the signage, and they've got all kinds of cool gear. And well, Doug was there and then he disappeared. All kinds of cool gear and patches, and go over there to patriotpatch.co and find out more about what they've got available. Doug has disappeared on me. Okay. I see him over in the notes, so he'll be back, I assume. But Kelly in the waiting room. There he is. Hear him popping back.
Let's try this one more time.
Now he's back.
There
Doug.
he is. What's up?
Who are you again? Tell us who you are.
I'm Doug.
Good deal. Kelly's over here in the comments.
I was running late tonight.
Yeah, I was like, I know he said he's going to be here, so I'm going
I did.
go right around.
And here I am.
Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about John 3:16. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Doug, what have you been up to this week for God and Guns?
Oh, man, let's see. What have I done? God's Side, Sportsman's Daily Devotional, Hospital Devotional. I did not catch online church this Sunday. I was canning vegetables and let time get away from me. Wasn't paying attention. I'm a little new to that pressure cooker thing, so I'm still a little apprehensive on that one. On the gun side, of course, everyday carry. I still been working in the garden, man. I still got quite a bit of stuff coming out, but it's drying up quick. It's about done. I'm fixing to bush hog everything off and let it sit for a little bit, and then disc it all down real good and start all over with my fall crops and see how that goes.
There you go.
So, dude, I did get a really cool thing in this week, though. My LEM Big Bite grinder came in. I've been wanting one of these grinders forever, and I ordered it's almost commercial grade. So I ordered one of them and got it in, and me and my future son-in-law, Dylan, he come over the other day, and me and him made sausage. I had some hog meat that I needed the grinder for because I saved it off these last two hogs to grind up into sausage. I knew I was getting the grinder, so I just had to wait. But we ground it up, man. It's some good stuff.
Yeah. Put your own seasonings and your own additives and all that stuff in there.
I did. Hey, there's Steve online with us tonight.
Hey, Steve, how's it going? How did the surgery go?
Yeah, I hope you're feeling good. He's typing to us. He said, "Hey," so
Well, good
that's
deal.
a good thing. Good thing.
He's on the right side of the grass. That's a good thing.
He is. Yeah, I ground up I did 25 pounds of sausage the other night, And I also ordered an LEM sausage stuffer that does. You can load the hopper up with 5 pounds of meat at a time, the ground meat. And dude, that thing works good. But we were using natural casings, and when it says soak it for 30 to 40 minutes, they ain't kidding.
They wasn't joking.
No, you got to wait 30 to 40 minutes, or you're not going to get it on that little spout that comes out. You know where it lays it out for the casings. It just ain't going to work.
Yeah, you just have to get it all soaked to get lubricated, I guess. Slide in there.
Yeah, it's a man. You got a casing. Well, they're about that long, and holding it under the faucet. Got water in the sink, and hold it under the faucet and try to get it to blow it up to get the salt out of it and off of it, where they salted it down real good.
All right.
But once you do that, man, you're good.
Cool deal.
Work like a champ.
All your gun stuff?
That's it for me, man. I've been just running and gunning all week between looking at houses and everything else I got going on. It's just crazy.
Cool deal. Let's see. Sunday we went to church at Severance Valley. We've been attending there periodically. The wife and kids have been attending there more than I have, since I'm still serving security pretty often down at Calvary. But we're slowly transitioning that way. I don't want to leave them in the lurch without someone there. We've had some things come up, and so I'll make sure that they're set and everything before we pull up, move to a new church. There's a class we need to take before we can join this new church. Most churches have a introductory to whatever the new church is, their bylaws and beliefs and all that stuff. So we'll have to sit through that. Though there was one this Sunday, but we weren't able to go to that one. But or last Sunday, I mean. But kids have been going. They've got young adult class that meets on Mondays and Tuesdays, 2 different classes, which works out perfect for Daphne and Gunner, because Daphne's off on Mondays and Tuesdays, and so that would be good for them. I'm about to cough. Trying to cough in y'all's ears. I'm sorry. Let's see. Pray for my family and my mom and dad, and then also be in prayer for my daughter. She had a wreck last Friday. I mentioned it maybe on the show, and Steve says some sausage to make him feel better. Better load up some, send it his way. She had a car wreck Friday morning. I got that phone call at 5 o'clock in the morning. They come get me, and that just rips your heart. Like, what? Where you at? What's happening? And all this stuff. And I got another phone call yesterday morning. It was this morning. This morning, about 5 o'clock. Oh. I just had a blowout
on the rental.
Yeah, the rental car tire blew out, and she goes, "I just had a blowout. I don't know what to do. I'm like, get off the road." Well, I'm glad to hear that surgery went great. Good to hear, Steve. For you guys that are listening and not watching live, Steve Sprouse is Doug's cousin, my friend since high school. Mm-hmm. And he had a heart surgery of some sort over the last week. Since last time we were on here, he asked for prayers last week when we were on here live, and he is saying surgery went well. So we're glad to hear that answer to prayer. Good deal. So she had a blowout this morning, and that upset her, and so it's got her nervous driving now, because like the last 3 times she's been out, she's either had a wreck or had a blown tire or something happened. So she just needs some calming prayer for peace and everything goes well and all that good stuff. A lot of ham club stuff. They have a weekly meeting at the Mammoth Cave area ham club, and I've been going down on Tuesdays and meeting a lot of the local hams down there. I knew a couple of them, and getting to know a lot of them better and learning. Man, you learn so much when you're around guys that have been doing it for 40, 50 years, 30 years, 20 years. they can answer questions just without even thinking about it. Oh, that's not what you want. You want this right here. This is
Here,
it.
let me get one out of the truck for you.
Yeah, I think I got one of those. Let me reach in my back pocket. But it's great to be able to be around a bunch of guys that have been in it and know what to do. And so I'm looking forward to going to the Middle Tennessee Nashville Ham Quest, I think it's called. It's going to be in Lebanon, Tennessee this Saturday. So I'm riding down with some of those guys, and we're going to go down there and see what all they got going on. And then there's the big Ham Fest down in Huntsville, Alabama, coming up the 20-something of August. And so I'm going down with those guys again. We got rooms and got a place to stay, and right across from the Von Braun Expo Center, wherever down there. So if you guys are hams, this will be one of the first big ham fest I've been to. I didn't get to go to Dayton. Of course, they closed it last year and this year because of COVID. That's supposed to be the biggest one, and then I guess Huntsville's probably number 2 or number 3. I think it was a big one in Florida. I think I mentioned it last week too. But you guys are hams. Look forward to maybe meeting up with you guys in either Lebanon, Tennessee, or in Huntsville in 3 or 4 weeks. Let's see. I guess 3 weeks. EDC. Let's see. Did I cover everything? Yeah, I covered most everything. Everything's important. EDC, carrying the STS Staccato C, and been driving back and forth to Bowling Green all last week and all this week so far. There's my STS Staccato C. She's hot, locked, rocked, ready to go.
She's pretty.
Hammer back on the live round. Safety on, grip safety, and got my finger out of the trigger, so we're being safe, and I am clear and put it back in my holster, my Crossbreed Super Tuck holster, and I have found 2 holsters in my box and tote of Crossbreed holsters they've sent me over the years that now fit this gun like a glove. So I found out that the Glock 19 holsters fit the Staccato STI almost to a T. So
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, well, that's good because it's got the sort of Glock type trigger guard, the square instead of the round, like on the 1911s.
So it's really a Glock with a hammer.
Yeah, Glock with a hammer and 2 safeties. 2 more safeties. So what are you carrying tonight?
Oh, usual suspect. I do have a Glock 19.
Yes, you
with the student of the gun night vision sights on it, and it fits in a Crossbreed holster too. Works like a champ.
Had my cousin-in-law stop over or text me and Facebook messaged me day before yesterday. Said, "Hey, you have a Glock sight alignment tool?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "You think I could come by?" Everybody in the country, you have a Glock sight alignment tool? Yeah. I'm always putting sights on people's Glocks for them because I tried to do it the old way where you put it in a vise and you push it in and try to slide it on there, and you tear your fingers up and you cut yourself and you break cheap sights on it and stuff like that. Finally, I just went in and bought a tool. Man, it's so much easier. But he came over and he's like, he didn't even have some of the pins in it. I'm like, dude, this thing's not even together yet. He's building his own. And
was
he? Yeah. So I helped him out with a pair of sights. The ones he bought, he tried to use a hammer and a punch or something to drive them on, and they were pretty boogered up. So I happen to have I probably got 7 or 8 sets of Glock 19 sights that I've taken off of guns over the years, and then I found a pair of tritium, so I put a set of tritium on there for him and got him squared away. And something else I helped him with, I forget what, but he mostly had it together there. Let's see, where else are we at? I'm just rambling at this point. I didn't look to see if we had any iTunes reviews.
I did. We did. We didn't.
Not this
Nothing
week.
since your birthday.
Okay.
The
Yep.
twofer.
Doug's anniversary was this week, so you guys need to, for his anniversary, you need to put in some new reviews.
That's right. That's right.
All right, you guys got a joke?
I do got a joke. I don't think I can't know if I told this or not. It's hard to tell. We've been doing a bunch of them. Anyway, a priest and a pastor are standing by the side of the road holding up a sign that reads, "The end is near. Turn around before it's too late." They held up the sign just as a car was passing by. "Leave us alone, you religious nuts," yelled the first driver as he sped by. From around the curve, they heard screeching of the tires and a big splash. Pastor says to the priest, "Do you think we should put on the sign that the bridge is out instead?" The end is near. You should heed the warning.
Yeah. Pastor speak is not always immediately interpreted.
It takes a while.
Yeah. All right. So tonight we've got this is our 316th episode, and so I thought it'd be fitting this to have John 3:16 as a Bible verse this week.
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to give you the whole John 3:16 all the way down to 21. Most podcasts would just give you John 3:16, but you guys are going to get more that you didn't even pay for.
That's right.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. For God did not send his son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned. Whoever believes in Jesus is not condemned. But whoever does not believe in Jesus is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. And this is the judgment, that light has come into the world, and people love the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God. A lot of people, memorize the verse 3:16, but the part that is the really important stuff is from 17 down to 21. It's great that God loved the world and that he sent his son. I mean, that's paramount, right? That is the gospel. He sent his son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. Why did God have to send his son? Why did God have to send Jesus to be that sacrifice?
To be the intercession to God for sin.
Right. He's a propitiation for the sins of everyone. So because of the first Adam failed. He put all the blame on Eve, but he was right there when it happened. And he was the spiritual leader of that marriage, right? He was the spiritual leader over Eve. God appointed him above the woman. And so he had the accountability. Just like your kids aren't accountable until they're, 18 or these days 27 or something. But you are accountable for your family. You're accountable for your wife. And so if your wife is doing something wrong, you're spiritually accountable for that. Well, in the same way that the first Adam sinned, that blood guilt, that sin came upon all of us. That death, that we're going to die thing, that's because of Adam. Now, not that we would have done anything different. We would probably just have been just as foolish as he was and try to make ourselves like God. There's still people today that want to make themselves God. A lot of them run for Congress and president. But what we see here is that there's a penalty that we're indebted to. Our sin separates us from God. And because of our sin, we can't have a relationship with God, because he is holy. He is set apart. He cannot be in the presence of sin, or we would be destroyed, right? His holiness would destroy our wickedness, right? So we need a savior. We need someone to pay that penalty. And there's only one person in the person of Jesus that is capable of doing that. So God sent his son. This is the gospel message. Because he loved us. He wanted to have a relationship. He wants us to be reunited with him. But he can't unless that sin is paid for. And the only acceptable offering is Jesus' blood and sacrifice. And so because of that, we have to put our faith and trust in Jesus as our Savior. And it says right here in verse 17, for God did not send his son in the world to condemn. Jesus didn't come as a judge. He came as a sacrificial lamb in order that the world might be saved through him. Whoever believes in this, in him, is not condemned. But who does not believe in Jesus is already condemned. Means if we don't accept Jesus, we're already condemned. I mean, we already have this blood guilt that we can't pay, right? We already have this sin debt that we can't get rid of our sin. We can't do enough good works to get rid of our sin. If we could do enough good works and give enough money to the church and walk old ladies across the road and that would get us to heaven, then Jesus wouldn't have to die on the cross. But because we can't do that, Jesus had to be that sacrifice. And he did it because his Father asked him to. And so the good news is that because Jesus has paid that price, if we believe on him, that is Jesus, is the Son of God, then we won't suffer eternal damnation. Then we won't be separated with the goats, right? The sheep and the goats at the end time judgment. We get to go with the sheep, right? With Jesus. And everyone else goes in the lake of fire with the devil and his demons. And so that is scripture. That is what is in there. That's the short version of it. But if you want to know more about it, you can read the whole Bible and you can find out the whole history from beginning to Revelation end, and you can see what's going to happen. But that's our verses tonight, John 3:16 down through verse 21.
Bonus verse.
Bonus verses. Didn't even charge you anything extra for that.
I know, right?
Buy one, get 5 free. All right, closing that down. So, some ramblings here today. If you guys haven't noticed, I posted up a video of Guns and Gadgets. He had one on there today where they're trying to slip through gun control and funding red flag laws into this new budget. So you need to get on the phone to your representatives, to your senators, and tell them, hey, they're trying to slide gun control in here. You need to strip that stuff out of there because they're trying to sneak it through this stupid $3 trillion bill on top of all the other waste. I mean, it's just like, let's just take money and set it on fire and blow it to the wind. This most irresponsible bunch of people ever been in Congress. Then the last Congress was the same with the Republicans in there. They were blowing money just like the Democrats. You can't buy your way out of trouble. You got to actually fix things and quit just trying to throw money at it. Money doesn't solve things. It just makes things more corrupt.
Right.
Let me get off my box there for a second. Okay.
Oh, you stay on it. I'm going to get on it too tonight.
You can get on it too. The level of waste of our government is just sickening. Our children and grandchildren are paying for this debt all their lives. Unless Jesus returns, they're going to be paying for this debt, high taxes, low standard of living. All this stuff is just wasted. They don't even have the money to budget this stuff. They don't have the money. They'd have to tax us like 90%, everybody, and they still wouldn't have enough money for what they're spending on. It's irresponsible. It's evil. It's corrupt. It's just downright disgusting. But I was going somewhere with this. Oh, I was going to tell you today. I actually found. I actually stopped at the Academy today, and they had some 6.5 Grendel on the shelf.
Yep.
They said, "Yeah, we got in like 4 boxes," and it was like $27 a box, and it was match. I'm like, I need honey rounds. I said, I'll take a couple boxes of match because I can't find any more honey rounds. But unless I order it online from some obscure place and it gets shipped to me in a couple of weeks, that's the only way I'm finding it right now. There's nothing right here local.
My buddy Sean sent me one the other day from SG Ammo. If you guys have never used them,
Sportsman's Guide.
No, it's called SG Ammo.
Oh, I thought it was Sportsman's Guide.
No, not Sportsman's Guide. So this is I think they're in. I want to say they're in Oklahoma. But anyway, it's SG Ammo. But they had 6.5 Grendel, the 90 grain hunting rounds, box of 50 for $79. So that wasn't horrible, but I didn't get none because I just loaded up recently and got a bunch of it. So I didn't get none. But hey, our Academy, check this out. I was in Academy the other day looking, and they had AR rounds, shotgun shells, 9mm, 45, and they didn't have it up at the front counter where you got to go up there and fight everybody for it. They had it in the sporting goods section.
Really?
I was like, woo. And you can buy 4 boxes now.
Ours still got it up there with whatever, the restricted goods or whatever. Up there at the very front counter.
Yeah, SG Ammo's been getting stuff in pretty regular here lately. Palmetto's been getting some stuff in too. But if you've never used them, it's sgammo.com.
Yeah, I just looked over. Now the Academy had 223, 5.56, 9mm, 45. They had some Russian 7.62, 39. But man, it was high. It was like $1 a round for like for like the 223 stuff. They had 30-06 there. It was like $40 a box of 20. I'm like, good gosh. There's like only one box though. They had 4570 government, but they only had subsonic.
Yep.
They only had subsonic, but they didn't have it like. I mean, of the 223 9mm, they might have had 2,000 rounds of each. 308, they had of the cheap stuff. They only had like 3 boxes, and of the premium hunting stuff, they had like 5. But that stuff's like $38 a box for 308 hunting rounds. I mean,
right. One just hit me up a while ago. He said SG Ammo's out of Stillwell, Oklahoma. I knew it was in Oklahoma somewhere. I just couldn't remember exactly where. He said he ordered 500 rounds of 147 grain 9mm for a class. Next month it was $239.
That's some heavy rounds for 9mm. I reloaded a bunch of 147 grain. They're big old bullets in there.
Yeah, they are.
They shoot really good in carbines.
Mm-hmm. I got some pretty good stuff over there occasionally. Yeah. You can find when they got it, but it's getting more and more. I see it every day. Different sites, are getting some ammo back, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I went over to Rural King. Used to be pretty good here. I don't know if you got Rural Kings down there, but we've got a bunch that popped up around here. They're sort of like a redneck Walmart. If Walmart wasn't redneck enough for you, it's a sort of between a Walmart and a TSC.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another. It's got farming stuff, and they got rifles and pistols and shotguns, but it's sort of like the Walmart level of firearms. It's not the high end stuff, but it's what they buy in bulk. And then the ammo is usually your PMC type stuff and Wolf stuff. That might not be what was pre-COVID. I didn't really do a lot of ammo buying there, but I went there and they had like 6 tables of 5.56 and 9mm steel case, 7.62, 39, and some 12 gauge slugs, just some odd end brands and things like that. But they, outside of your 945 and 223, 5.56, 308, some 308, not a whole lot. they didn't have any kind of oddball. They didn't have any 6.5 Grendel. They didn't have any 6.5 Creedmoor. They just had sort of like the what most people have and stuff. But then you go Kentucky Gun Company, they got pallets of it, but it's still more than I want to pay for it. I'm hoping that the prices will somewhat regulate, and come back down to somewhat reasonable. I mean, every time you pull your pistol, you're throwing $1 out the window. That's sort of not what you want.
It was 65 cents a round for AR green tip at Academy the other day. And I'm like, I got quite a bit. So
yeah, I don't shoot that green tip stuff because I got steel targets, and a lot of places I go for training stuff, they don't want you shooting it.
Right.
That's green stuff because it zip right through your metal and tear all your target stands up and stuff like that. But what are you guys finding out there? Y'all finding any ammo? I mean, I noticed it's just sort of regional. A lot of things that you couldn't find in Kentucky when I went to Montana, it was just everywhere. You could buy all you wanted to stuff, magazines, and it was like prices were here in Kentucky before people got stupid. Same way out, South Dakota and places like that. They just sort of didn't have trouble with it.
People don't get to town that much out there.
Oh no, they go to town pretty often. I mean, a lot of times it's a long way to town, but we get to go to Montana this year. I'm really not. I'm wanting to go. I keep thinking I'm just going to go over to the shop and back my truck in the truck camper and grab the wife and take off and head west before it gets cold. But I don't know. Audrey's school is going to be starting 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. 2 weeks. Like, man, it seemed like we didn't go back to school till September. Is that right? Or am I just remembering wrong? I mean, I remember
late August or 1st of September. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we had football camp in July and first part of August and stuff, and then we didn't we had maybe a game before the school started, like 1 or 2 scrimmage games or something. And then it seemed like to me that, we didn't go back till right September. But, man, the kids now are starting like July 31st or something, Public schools around here are starting next Monday, I think.
Yeah, they're starting here Tuesday.
Grandkids are starting back to school. I'm like, man, we used to have long summers.
Yeah.
But, I remember even when we came back, some of the boys, just lived out on the farms, and their days were farmers. They didn't come back till the tobacco was in the house, up in the barn. And then they would disappear again about the time it would start stripping. Around Christmas, 1st of December, they're gone.
For deer season.
Yeah.
For that 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm over, if anybody's looking for ammo, I'm actually over looking right now. You ever shoot the PMC X-Tac?
Yeah, I got a case of that cheap from a dealer I know. He's not a public dealer, but I think he had 2 cases of that I ended up picking up.
I've got a couple thousand rounds of that. I like it. It's 55 grain, but they got 1,000 round case for $5.79, 58 cents a round. So that's not horrible. But I also have some. They have a case of the 5.56 55 grain ball, the Wolf Gold. Have you ever shot that?
Only Wolf stuff I shot was I shot some 308. It jammed up and puff up. I had to get a rod and drive that stuff out.
The steel case or the gold?
Steel case. The steel case. The gold I've not shot. I've seen it. It's but it's pretty cheap brass.
Yeah, I mean it's one and done. I don't know if you reload it. I don't know if you want to reload it, but they got it for 51 cents a round, so 1,000 rounds in a case. So
yeah, I mean,
not horrible. It's coming back down a little bit.
If you're just going out and throwing lead down the range and wasting rounds,
yeah,
I guess it'll work. But or if you're a place where you can't pick up your brass. I did. Academy did have some 5.56 brass, brand new brass in the Hornady brass. I picked up a couple. I think I picked up 100 rounds of that. That's some nice stuff. While I was there, what was I thinking? I tell you what, man, getting old, man, it's for the birds.
Horrible.
You have a thought, and then it's like, where'd it go? I had a thought. I don't know where I'm at.
What was I thinking about?
You'd be in a store like, how did I get here?
Hey, I don't know if you saw it or not. I made a post the other day. Well, nobody saw it, but nobody could see it.
Facebook censors saw it.
Facebook censors did see it. I got shadow banned. You know, and I'm not saying I'm popular on there or anything, but I got enough wisecrack friends that if I post something like that, somebody's going to comment on it.
Yeah,
Guarantee. And I posted a thing the other day talking about the Texas Democrats that went to D.C. And so they did have to vote on the voter law stuff.
uh-huh.
And then they, 6 of them shows up with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And, they all been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
They all got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I put on there just a question. I said, do they really have COVID, or did the Democrats in Washington just fake a test and say, oh, yeah, you got COVID, so you don't got to go back for 14 days because you got to stay quarantined in the hotel you're in? Dude, 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 nothing.
The only way you can break the algorithm is you have to comment on your own post. And then for some reason it opens up. Now they'll probably change it now that I said that, but they got set up the algorithms so people won't see it. But if you comment on your own post, then it shows up in their feed. That's just weird.
So I had Winnie get out there. I said, go out on Facebook, go to my page, see if you see this post. Because I'm like, I could see it. And she's like, yeah, I'm on your page and I see it. She said, I didn't see it when you posted. This was like 5 days earlier.
Yeah.
And she said, I hadn't seen nothing. So she went on there and she commented on it, or she liked it. And then she shared it to her page. You know how many likes and stuff she got? 0. They shadow banned it over there too.
Yeah, it's the algorithm. You got to comment on your own post, like 2 or 3 different comments. If you get people to write on it, then it'll start showing up in other people's posts. But it's stupid. I mean, that they've already lost when they have to block you from your friends be able to see your stuff because they're so unpopular, and then because they're trying to cover up the truth. I mean, how would you like to live your whole life trying to cover up the truth? Man, what a job! How pathetic! What a loser!
You can't say that. Why?
What's that?
It's like, you can't say that. Why? You broke community rule. Which one? The truth. Oh, okay. Sorry.
In the age of, I forget what the quote is. In the age of treason, age of, I wish I could think of the quote. In the age of something, speaking the truth is treason. That's what it is. I can't remember what the age of what. But, I remember now. He goes, back in my head again. You were talking about PMC. The first time I ever saw PMC ammo, it was a yellow box, and it said PMC.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 223, and I bought it from Steve's dad, Doug, up at Magnolia. It's the first time I ever saw it. And I said, man, this stuff's cheap. It was like $3 and something for a box of 20. Like $3.10 or something. Like, this is pretty cheap stuff. I'd buy that every time I saw it, because I was shooting groundhogs. All I did was shoot groundhogs and turtles with 22s and shoot limbs out of trees with 7.6239. Didn't do a whole lot of hunting with rifles. We did most of our hunting with shotguns. We was mostly quail and rabbit, squirrel. But I was a varmint. I liked killing all the varmints. That stuff would kill them just as much as anything else. That ball ammo would blow them brains around like anything else.
Don't matter what you shoot, man. A well-placed shot is going to take something down.
Yeah.
And they still have that 6.5 Grendel if you're interested in some 90 grain. It's American Eagle varmint predator ammo.
It's pretty light. Well, you shoot Coyotes, I guess, when you 90
You
grain.
could shoot pigs or anything with it. That 90 grain. Andy, my buddy Andy that's on here, was busting my chops earlier for being late, taking him away from Tucker. He shoots that 6.5 Creedmoor, and he shoots a 90 grain round, and he kills deer with it and everything else.
Yeah.
It's vicious, man. That stuff is smoking hot.
Steve said, I still got some with the price tag on it. I do too. I've got a tote right here. I can see a yellow box that says PMC on it right across the room. I guarantee you it came from Magnolia Stop and Shop or whatever it was called. I forget what it was called back in the day. But I can see a box from right here. I can guarantee there may not be ammo in it, but the box is there because I remember keeping the price tag on it.
Steve, I'll give you what you got in it.
That's some appreciation there now.
Yeah. Take it off his hands for him.
Dad bought a 30-30 Marlin from Doug up there, and he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with the thing. And he took it back, and Doug traded him a Winchester 120, I think it was, pump 12 gauge, like a 30-inch barrel in it. And he said, I don't need this. And he gave it to me. So that's why I shot for years was that Winchester pump. That barrel, man, you could knock birds out of the sky just swinging the barrel around. It was that long.
Dude, I used to go rabbit hunting. My grandfather let me take his. Yeah. He had a 12 gauge Remington Wingmaster with a 30-inch barrel on it. And dude, there wasn't a rabbit in the country that could get across a cornfield before I could get him with that gun. It'd reach out and touch him.
Yeah. Steve had all the cool stuff, man. His dad had his gun store there. He had all the cool Gucci stuff. Of course, there wasn't much Gucci stuff back then. We all had gun racks in the back of our trucks. Went to school with a shotgun and a rifle in the back window.
Buck knife on your belt.
Buck knife on your belt. I mean, a serious knife. Not these. It was, 4 or 5 inch blade. Nobody ever hurt nobody with a knife. Well, I take that back. There were some girls got in a fight with a razor blade. That was pretty bad. But it wasn't country boys. Well, let's see. Let's what's that?
I was looking at Steve over on YouTube. Said his wife was in Facebook jail for posting about nanotech stuff in Vax.
Yep.
Hey, it's coming back, man. They're fixing to make you start wearing face masks again.
People are so over that. They've done, the fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's where we're at now. People are like, you just keep changing stuff. You just keep making new rules. And I mean, nothing they have done is based in science. Nothing. No. Even they came out and just the CDC just got busted for saying that it's been peer reviewed about the mask and stuff. And the peer review was actually rejected. Everybody said the masks were useless. Even the manufacturers say the masks are useless against coronavirus. I mean, it's so stupid. This makes me sick. And everybody around here is starting to mask up again. I'm like, are you kidding me? You guys gonna just fall over again for that? The mask manufacturers say it don't stop nothing. The doctors and the CDC used to say it didn't stop nothing. They cite some stupid India statement that comes out, and the peer review was against it, and they say, oh no, it was for it. I'm like, whatever. They got busted on that. You get busted lying every single week, CDC and Fauci and all that bunch. And, we just act like nothing's ever happened. I'm getting cynical. You all forgive me, please. Sometimes I get cynical, and I shouldn't be that way. I should just laugh at them because they're just acting the fool. All right, so we got some patches of stickers that look like this, and we've got a Subscribe Star. If you guys haven't checked out Subscribe Star, you go subscribestar.com/God dash, like the minus sign, and dash Guns, and you can donate to that. We would appreciate it, and there are a lot of you guys that do that. We very much appreciate that. And then you got the next two. Then we got Armed Citizen of the Week.
Hey, PowerTac lights. Hey, if you need a weapons mounted light, rail mount light, you need a headlamp for hunting, or you just need a flashlight for your pocket, go check our buddies out at powertac.com. They got a light for you. And man, I'll tell you what, lifetime warranty. They are bright, they're rechargeable. And if you use the promo code God and Guns, they will give you 40% off just for listening to the show. So you can't beat that deal anywhere. So go check our buddies out, powertac.com. Also, Crossbreed holsters. Hey, I showed you one a minute ago. There's a drop slide. What I got? There's a Freedom Carry. These are for the Glock 19 or Troy's Staccato. It'll work on both, apparently.
There's an Ojai.
Ojai.
It's Velcro. If you, like me, you got those shirts, it's got the Velcro inside of them, or you got some kind of tactical bag, you can stick it in there. Or if you got one of those purses, it's got these in it. Or you can get this little panel that Crossbreed supplies, and you can put that in a purse or in a cargo pocket. This one's set for one of those big cargo pockets like I wear all the time, and holds it in there nice and secure.
Hey, get yourself a good holster. Dude, I was in a store the other day, and I don't know if I'm just I am getting old, but I'm getting set in my ways and things just irritate me a lot more now. This guy had one of those old Uncle Mike's holsters.
You're just an elitist. Think you're better than everybody else. They can only afford them Uncle Mike's.
No. I've had Uncle Mike's. They work great. If that's what you got, that's what you got. But this dude had one on a belt, and he was wearing it on one of those elastic belts.
Uh-huh.
And he luckily he did have the strap over it and had it buckled down.
But hang upside down.
Dude, it was almost upside down. I wanted to reach over and just grab it and snatch it off and smack him with it. I'm like, if you're going to carry a gun, carry it the correct way. Don't be that guy. And I was like, oh my goodness. And my wife is looking at me. She's like, mm-hmm. She's just waiting for me to go say something. I'm like, nope, that's on him. He ain't never going to be able to pull it. I've never tried to pull a gun down out of the holster unless I was carrying a shoulder holster or something. But then it still it's not down. But it was just irritating.
That reminds me, my first holster I ever had for that, my first pistol was a Smith & Wesson Model 19 Combat Magnum. I took my pig money and gave it to Dad, and I picked out what I wanted. I remember it was $239 back in 1976, 78. And I wanted one because the state police were carrying the stainless steel version, the 66. And I wanted one of those, and so Dad went and got it, and I got to shoot whenever he was around. And but I wanted a holster for it, and I went up to Doug's, Steve's dad, and he had a Galco Miami shoulder rig.
Oh yeah,
and it had the leather, and it was like a spring, like a spring taco, and you put the pistol in there, and it held it around the cylinder. Man, I packed that thing around everywhere. I thought I was cool. I was down the square, had my 357 Magnum under my shirt. This is back before, under my shirt, under my jacket. This is back before concealed carry was a thing in Kentucky. I don't think they passed that until like early 91, 93, somewhere in that range.
We just carried guns.
Yeah, just carried guns. I mean, all the police knew I had guns. I remember the Lester and Steve Johnson. What was the guy that lived out there in Buffalo? I could see his face. Dennis. Steve would probably chime here tell us. Dennis. What's his name? He ended up transferring out. But they all knew that. I always kept a Mini 14, the GB model, the folding stock. That was my gun that I shot groundhogs with. I shot groundhogs for all people all over the county, whoever let me come over and shoot. And but they all knew I had a gun. Back then, you could go there into Knox. I had a Mini 14. It would sit between the console and the passenger seat. The magazine kept it, from flopping around, sliding around. It sat right there. So whenever I was out, if I saw a coyote, man, we didn't have no coyotes till '84. Saw groundhogs, and they was done. Wells, that's right, Dennis Wells. So I guess he's over Nelson County now or somewhere. But no, it was just a different time back then. Nobody really worried about country boys with guns.
No, because we all had them.
Yeah, we weren't the problem.
No. Still not.
Usually, you get one that was drinking maybe and had a gun and was using it for a noise maker. That was a little dangerous. But other than that, most of the time country boys didn't cause no problem. They was taught right about not. Now your city cousins that came down on the weekends or over the summer, you had to keep an eye on them because they only watch TV and they thought guns are playthings.
Right.
But somebody grew up in the country, they knew better. They didn't go pointing them around stuff. I tell you what, there's so many people. When we grew up, there wasn't nobody hardly lived around us. I mean, there was farmers, and there was not very many of them. And you could shoot in about 90% of the direction, not have to worry about a bullet hitting anybody. Nowadays, right. I'm telling my sons, I'm like, look, you can't shoot in this direction. You can't shoot in that direction. This is the only safe area you can shoot here, and this is the only safe area here. And they're like, well, we got all this land. Okay. Because a bullet travels 2-3 miles.
Right.
Yeah, high-powered rifles and stuff. So you got to know your land, and you got to know what will stop a bullet, what will a bullet skip off of. All the time, you can't shoot ponds because the pond will skip.
Ricochet,
it'll keep going for long, long ways. I'm like, you can't shoot into ponds, guys. If you're going to shoot into a pond, you shoot in the bank on the far side. And make sure it's got a good high berm on the backside of it. Oh, I'm just rambling on. Let's talk about the armed citizen of the week. Have you done that yet?
We have not done that yet, but we will.
Because we're about running out of time. People are going to start hanging up on us and going to bed. Oh, we started earlier tonight, so maybe not.
Oh yeah, it's not bedtime yet. Let's see. Armed Citizen Night comes to us from California. A homeowner in is it Guinda, California? Guinda, Guinda.
Two Kentucky boys agreed on a name that we can't pronounce.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Guinda, California.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Defending himself when a duo of would-be burglars broke into his home on the night of July 20th, 2021. The homeowner had returned to his residence midday on Tuesday and noticed that some tools and a firearm were missing, which made him suspicious. Later that night, if I had a firearm missing, that'd make me real suspicious. Later that night, around 9 p.m., the homeowner noticed headlights in his driveway, and he wasn't expecting visitors. With the early warning of the uninvited guests, the homeowner had time to retrieve a firearm for protection. He then waited inside for the intruders to make their move. As Lieutenant Gary Hollenbeck of Yolo County Sheriff's Office said, he did not go out and confront these people. He stayed in his house, and eventually these people came into his residence. After a short period of time, the two robbers, a man and a woman, broke into the residence where they ended up confronting the homeowner. The homeowner defended himself against the intrusive duo with several shots from his gun. The man was mortally wounded by the shots while the woman survived in critical condition. Authorities said the homeowner has cooperated and that the firearm used was legal for the state. That comes to us from FoxNews.com in New York, Wisconsin. 722. But
legal for the state. What the heck does that mean?
Well, California, dude. You can't. It didn't say what kind of firearm he retrieved.
Oh, okay. I was seeing the New York, Wisconsin. I'm like, why would Wisconsin have any limit on what kind of gun you have?
I know, right? It was probably a Glock with a 3-round mag or something.
You have to manually cycle the slide each time you shoot and change mags
Right.
and use a tool to release the safety to bang.
He might have put a
Click,
10-round
clack,
mag in his
clink.
Glock instead of that 129-round mag for the Glock that Joe Biden was talking about the other day, which I still haven't found one yet, but I'm still looking.
Wait, man, Democrats get all the cool magazines.
I guess. I don't got one.
An auto mag.
But if Joe Biden says it's good, I probably need to get one.
Does he use a 129 round clip in his double
barrel
barrel shotgun?
Probably. He got an auto loader.
Got an auto loader for that 129 round clip for his double barrel shotgun.
It's a scary shotgun because it's got a pistol grip on it.
Who needs 129 rounds to hunt deer? I tell you.
Right?
Someone said something that Daphne, had the car wreck with the deer. She's gonna be mad. I said her name, I'm sure, but she had the car wreck, and someone in passing said, deer kill more people than any other animal. I got to thinking, hey, you're probably right.
Yeah. Never had a rabbit come through the windshield.
Not yet. There's always a chance. That night out there, we was hunting hogs, and that rabbit come in and scared off the deer and the raccoons. That was the most hilarious thing I ever saw. Man, they cleared out there. I thought, Doug said if everything clears out, the hogs are coming in. Yeah. I'm sitting there, I'm looking for the hogs. Bugs? What's Bugs Bunny doing there? He goes hopping in. Every time I looked at the thermal, he's a little bit closer. Man, he's starting to freak me out now.
He's like Super Rabbit.
Run everything else in the woods out. He's about to run me off.
Shoot. But the pigs came back though, didn't they? Hey, I was watching that video again the other day. There was 4 hogs standing there in that video.
4. Two shot off to the right. And because they ran right together, you could just barely see the nose of one leaving the other one. Yeah, there was 4 in that hole.
They're lucky they wasn't lined up when you shot that first one, just blowed through all of them.
Well, if I had known there's 4, I might have taken I might have led with the other one because all 3 of those other ones I think were pretty much in a line.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying, make sure you hit them in the head. So I just took headshots. I didn't try to go, through the middle of all of them. I didn't want to wound some, and I wanted to keep them, what I got. But
heck yeah.
I didn't do bad. 2 out of 4 ain't bad for a boy first time hunting. Hog.
2 shots, 2 kills, fighting mosquitoes. You're up on the tripod trying to shoot. You're doing like this. Get off.
Actually, I was too tired to do that. I was just laying on the I was laying there. Mosquitoes just eating, taking what they want. Like,
God bless the Thermacell.
You got some serious mosquitoes in there. Well, see, the problem I had was I shut off the Thermacells because I was packing up to head out. I had everything in the bag ready to go. And I just happened to look over and saw a glow. And I'm like, wait a second. And look, like, I'm hogs. I started pulling stuff back out. I had my headlamp off. I had to turn my headlamp off. I'm like, they're going to spook. See my headlamp. Man, they had their head so deep in that corn, they didn't see nothing. I was banging around like an old drunk falling down the stairs trying to get all my stuff back out. Doug's got the bacon, Gary. You have to go to Doug's house. He's the one that cleaned it, so he got to keep it.
Hey, I tried to give it to you, but you just got that beef killed, and you're like, I ain't got no room.
Our freezer is still full. We've been eating on it. It's pretty hard as we can go, but we still got a lot of beef. And we got another one needs to go to the butcher now.
As my buddy always says, he called Alabama rules on me. He shoots it, I have to clean it or gut it while he sits back and watches. But apparently Alabama rules don't work if you're from Alabama and you call it.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, you have to clean it. You still have to clean it yourself.
If I wasn't so dog tired, I would have tried to help you. I tell you, I was so wasted, tired. We'd left out 5, 6 o'clock that morning, and went straight to the swamp in the dark. Went straight to the blind, and then sat there for 6 hours. Yeah, before I got there.
Mm-hmm.
Before I finally saw hogs. I enjoyed all the deer though. There's nice deer and raccoons. But we need to wrap this puppy up. People going to say you're going too long again. So send your feedback to TroyGuyGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GuyandGunsPodcast.com.
Tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review. We appreciate that. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GuyandGunsPodcast. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. You can find us over on Instagram. We've got a Wimkin page. We've got a Rumble page. We've got a MeWe page. And our website, which is now mostly run by people from South America. It's called GuyandGunsPodcast.com. Until next time, have a blessed week, Doug.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate all the feedback and comments and you guys putting up with us. We will talk to you guys next week.
Good night, all.